You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better. And today I am blessed and honored to have Patti, I'm going to mess up your last name, nerdy girl web developer here. That's how I smooth the transition. Patti, thank you so much for being a guest.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this. This is my first podcast, so I'm really excited to be here.
Ooh, yeah, I get the first-time podcast. I love it. I love it. Patti, how about you give us a quick introduction, let us know a bit about you, and then we'll jump into the whole interview.
My name is Patti Steorts, and I created Nerdy Girl Web Developer, which is for female business owners. I help design and create strategic websites, fully optimized websites for female business owners. And I also come up with a unique marketing strategy to help with their business goals and their business needs. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
That's a lot in a nutshell. That's one heck of a nut you have there.
Yes.
So with you saying that you focus primarily on female entrepreneurs, which awesome. I want to know the why. Why did you start with female entrepreneurs, or why did you start being an entrepreneur yourself?
So the reason why I started the entrepreneurship journey was just because I have been in the healthcare worker for 10 years, doing physical therapy. And, I just got to the point where the hours just became way too crazy and their expectations were just getting to be way too much, and then the burnout, that just started happening more and more. And then, you know how it goes when your heart just isn't into something anymore. So I had to make a switch. Something had to give, and I just decided to go into website design. I started taking a lot of coding courses, and then WordPress, which I specialize in WordPress design. And then that was it. I mean, I started doing the nerdy girl business like in the middle of the pandemic, not knowing what the fuck I was doing at all, and just saying like, who gives a shit? I'm gonna just try this and see where it goes. And now I have clients, and I'm still learning a hell of a lot though, So, but I love it. I love the journey. I love being able to help my clients out every single day, and I just love being that support system that they need.
Awesome. So you went from being in the physical therapy world, a healthcare worker, and providing help to them, to switching over and giving, in essence, medical attention to their business websites and that.
Right. And, I still wanted to be in the service, customer service business. So I'm like, well, how can I do the same thing but in a different way? And so that's how the magic began.
Yeah, no, what's really interesting is you talked about a burnout, which is something that I'm familiar with. I had a burnout in 2020 before the pandemic hit. So like, luckily I was on bed, I was resting while the pandemic hit. And you started your business in the midst of the pandemic. I started just near the end of the pandemic, or at least at the end of 2020. Um, your burnout, was it in 2020 or was it before 2020?
So it actually started gradually happening before 2020. It probably started happening a year or two before that, where I just couldn't do it anymore. My heart just wasn't there. And I started thinking along the lines of, well, I really need to get out of this, and I need to do something that's different and challenging. So that's what I decided to do. And then be there for my family a lot more as my kids are getting older. And so, just switching directions and wanting to work for myself without having to make money for somebody else, like most people want to switch out of.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%, because at my burnout, when my burnout happened, I made the decision, no, I am not going to be someone else's employee. I'm going to make it on my own. And so I started delving into the world and using YouTube and trying to figure it out. So I fully understand. You're just slightly more ahead in your career of being an entrepreneur than I am, but we're still on the same journey and we're having a great time.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, just having fun, making your own rules and just helping your clients and just having fun. That's all I
want. When a new client comes to you, what are some of the normal, or let's say common problems that they have with their website or just in their business?
So a lot of times when they come to me, they're just, they're struggling to even get online. Like, they don't even know what in the world is going on. They don't know how to even step one. They don't even know step one. So, or complete opposite, where they're trying to DIY their website and they don't realize all the stuff that actually goes into building a website, all the stuff that actually goes into marketing yourself really well. So that's where I come in. I try to make it less stressful, less overwhelming. I do all the thinking for them so they don't have to think. So that's why they come to me, because they're just fed up. There's just too much to do, and they realize they absolutely hate trying to do any of this. And they rather be doing something fun in their business and have time in their normal daily lives to do something that they care about versus the crap that I do. Like, they don't want to do that. So.
No, and I understand that fun. For me, it's like, this is the part of the job that I love, the talking with the entrepreneurs, talking with the individuals on the podcast versus sitting down and editing the podcasts, getting it all put together and ready. So I fully understand how having someone just take care of the real technical stuff, or the stuff that you don't enjoy, is a godsend. So on behalf of most entrepreneurs who have no idea what web development or how to do that, thank you for being alive.
You're welcome. I love it. I know. I love it.
So web development and marketing planning, that's something that you found a passion for after kind of losing the passion for medical help?
Yes, absolutely. And it's just a new challenge to figure out. And there's so many different avenues. And one of the biggest things I love is just, it's always a learning process. Like, I'm always learning something new. I mean, so I don't get bored, because I hate getting bored. Then I have to go and do something else. I really like doing this, so I don't want to get bored and have to figure something else out.
Yeah, once you've become your own boss and see how amazing and awesome it is, flipping and going back to finding something boring or going back to a world that doesn't have the same excitement is it's not fun. It's like just discovering, the outside world. I never want to be inside anymore. I want to go outside and explore. What was it that made you want to specifically work with female entrepreneurs?
So I just wanted to empower females. I think it's time for women to really rise up and know their worth. So I wanted to be a part of that support system for them, knowing that they have a safe space with Nerdy Girl, and that they can be who they are and know that they're not going to get judged for that. So I wanted to create that space for them. So that is why I created my business.
No, I love it. You're allowing women to be, again, their true authentic self, warts and scars and everything else there, and you're more than happy to help them and say, look, I don't really care if you don't know about this. This is my job. You do your stuff. Let me handle that stuff. So I love that, giving that power, because I think a lot from actually working with females and creating their podcast, I know a lot of them are scared when they do work with a man, because they think they have to be already perfect and have all the business things, because then they think the man will judge them on that. And when most of the time we don't care, because we're figuring it out as well.
Yeah. And I think it's just, like I said, it's time for women to really step into their talents and their gifts and just, take imperfect action. You know what I mean? Instead of always kind of being scared, because I'm a lady, so I think anyway.
Well, you have kids, and I'm pretty sure you may be married, so there is a chance.
I understand their struggle. Like, I understand their fears. I understand the crazy life when you add like a really crazy career, or you're adding kids into the mix. So I understand where they're coming from, and if I can ease that stress and just kind of even get rid of it for them, that's what I want to try to do.
Oh, I love that. I know a lot of my female listeners will be enjoying hearing that from you. Patti, you've been an entrepreneur for just a bit over a year, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
You probably had a lot of trials and tribulations, and that is part of being an entrepreneur. It's all the way until I think you sell your company, you'll probably have trials and tribulations. But I want to know, has there been a moment in your young career as an entrepreneur that you're like, yes, this is why I became an entrepreneur. This is this right here, this happy moment that I just had. Have you had one of those yet, or are you still waiting for that?
A little bit of both. Right now, when I know I can see the women that I help, and it's just making them feel a lot less stressed out, and they're like, whoa, I just have a website now, I look more professional, or whoa, I have a nice marketing strategy now put in place. You can just see the stress relief just come right off of them. It's just melting away, and that's definitely one of the highlights, because that's the whole goal. And, showcasing their talents and their gifts through their brand and through their eyes, that's really epic, because now the world can see what they do, because there's people out there who desperately need them. So that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to get them out and up online in the digital world so people can come to them and use their services and products. So that's extremely important to me, helping them build up their business, helping them build a better life for them, better community, better society for them, So that's what Nerdy Girl, it's all about that.
I love it. I love how you're more focused on helping grow someone than actually, just profiting off of them, because their growth is growth for you, because it's proof that you know what you're doing. So I love how you're concentrating on that. Now, in your young career, you must have set goals for you, or at least for the company. What is a 5-year goal look like for Nerdy Girl? Where does Nerdy Girl look like in 5 years from now?
Whew. To be honest, I'm not much of a goal maker. I know that's totally against the norm, Like, I don't sit down and actually write goals. But if I had to say 5 years from now, I definitely want to be growing into a bigger agency. So that's where I would like to head. And I would love to be able to hire kick-ass women to work with me, and we can really make this thing explode. So that's where I want to be in about 5 years from now.
I love it. I love that goal of not only being an agency, but hiring kick-ass women and badasses all together to help grow your business, get more girls into, or women, sorry, into the programming world. So it's less of a bro culture and more of a, yin and yang. So you have both for people. I'm interested, is there a reason why that you don't set the goals?
Just because I've never been like a goal setter. Like, I guess for me, let me explain. Like, I'll have a goal in mind, but I don't like sit there and analyze and write down every single step. I'm more of a doer. You know what I mean? If I want to get to some level or get to somewhere, I just fucking do it.
So you have the goal in essence in your mind. You're like, let's say in 5 years you want to be an agency owner, you want to have all these stuff, and then boom, you're like, that's where I'm going, and somehow I'll get there, and that's just always in the back of your mind, and you're just working towards it. Okay, I love that. I love that freestyle, if you will, of goal setting. It's not too specific. You're like, I know where I'm going, but we'll get there. Big picture.
Exactly. I don't want to put myself in a box. So I guess I'm just open-minded to whatever avenue or whatever door is going to open,
I love that. When it comes to websites specifically, what are some advice you could have for someone who is trying to DIY it themselves? What is something they should look out and be like, at least fix this and you should be able to do better?
Well, my advice is don't do it. That's my
best advice ever.
Yeah. So let's see. The best advice, really know the platform that you want to use. I use WordPress. It's free. WordPress.org is free. I would actually, do research on why you want a website to begin with. So honestly, there's not a ton of advice I can give because a DIY is a terrible idea.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So we're going to switch off from advice for people trying to make their own website because we've established that DIY is probably not the best. But what about entrepreneurs who are just starting? What's some advice that you could have for entrepreneurs who are just starting into this world?
Okay. So for entrepreneurs that are just starting, for me, I have decided that the year of 2021 is I need to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable. So that's one of the things I would definitely advise new entrepreneurs. You have to be uncomfortable, and it's okay to be that way. And then I challenged myself even more, saying this is my year of yes. So if something scares the bejesus out of me, I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to say yes to that. Like this podcast, I'm an introvert, so this is why I like doing websites, because I don't have to see anybody for days. But so I'm like, okay, well, this podcast has never been on one. Let's do it. So just taking imperfect action, even if you're not ready, just do it anyway. That's my advice, because that's the only way to get moving, is just to do it.
I love it. Just go out and do it. Imperfect action leads to perfection, which has been imperfect action is like probably a common theme this season with the other entrepreneurs that I've had on the podcast so far. Now, you being an introvert, I'm wondering, are you a reader? Like, do you read a lot, or is it you do? Okay, good. Because I'm a voracious eater. I'm more of an extrovert, but I do have my introvert moments, like most people, to recharging the batteries. And I love reading. Like, reading is probably one of my favorite things. I have like probably 4 books on the go at a time, which is probably not smart, but I get bored easily. What can I say? What is a book that you think entrepreneurs should have on their table?
I love books, so I'm super nerdy when it comes to books. Oh, let's see. So I'm a huge fan of mindset. So one of my favorite books that I have read is by Rhonda Burns, and it's called Magic, and then the other one is called The Secret. So
Love The
those,
Secret.
yeah. So those two go hand in hand because one's all about getting your mindset right, and then the other one's all about gratitude, which is huge. I believe it's very big to have both of those in your life in order to really find some serious growth just in business and in life in general. And that way, you can help your customers with whatever they need, and you can face situations that come up, and you can do it with a better mindset. So whatever helps.
I love it. I love The Secret and Magic. I love it. I haven't read The Magic yet, but I'm planning on it. It is on my list, so I'm glad that you brought it up. Um, Now, in the world of entrepreneurship, and you're still new, have you found that networking is a key component to it, or are you just able to use ads, or how do you get the clients actually?
So yeah, I mean that's an awesome question. Networking is huge. Okay, like I said, I'm an introvert, so me, me talking to people is scary as shit. Like especially to people who I've never met, I don't know. But honestly, I've really found networking very enjoyable. Like I love having those deeper conversations about business and why people got into their business. I find it very fascinating because everybody's story is so different. So me just being able to get on a Zoom call with somebody and saying, "Hey, what's going on? Tell me about your business." That's been one of the most exciting things so far as an entrepreneur, and I love it. And I
Yeah.
think it's very important, building the relationships and the connections with people. I think we've kind of lost that, like with the social media and all that. I feel like it's very difficult now these days to really, really connect with people. I mean, people will say the opposite, but for me, I like that deep connection.
I think I agree with you. With social media, I think we've been able to um, surface level connect with people, have the surface connection with a lot of people, but the deep connections of actually like building the bonds of friendship and a deeper connection or relationships with people, that skill has been lost
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
because everybody's now concerned with, oh, look how many likes I got, or how many this, or how many products I can sell, versus the people who provide a service. We need to go that deeper level. We don't need the superficial, the surface level stuff. We need to know a bit about the nitty gritty if we're going to help them the most. And like, you need to know them in a very good way, because you have to build this website, because you can build a website, but it's going to be in your image. But that's not the point. If it's a client's coming, it needs to be in their image and their tone and their language. So having those deeper connections is super important. And networking is probably I fully agree with you. Networking is so important. That's why I love podcasting, because it creates a better networking. You have this deeper connection for like 30 minutes with someone, and you learn so much about them. Like I've already learned like some of your best moments and like some of the joys you've had. And that just brings me joy, because it's like, fuck yeah. I love seeing the successes that others have, because it's like, yes, I'm rooting for you, because I know there's plethora of opportunities out here for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, is really being able to go a lot deeper so you can really help people and really serve them the way they deserve.
Now, coming back, we're coming into the world of websites and the joys that it can bring. Have you seen your skills with each client you get increase, and your understanding of being able to maybe anticipate the need of the client grown, or what?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's one of the things that I like about doing this work, is that with every single client, there's always something different, some new challenge that I have to really overcome. And yeah, it can be scary as shit. And then, that evil imposter syndrome.
Hate that friend. Hate that person.
Yeah, right? And that thing starts showing up and you're like, wait a minute, I know I can do this and I'm going to do it. Whatever it takes, I'm going to figure it out. And that's been a huge blessing because I know that I can do this. And with every single different website that I build, I acquire new skills every single time. Doesn't even matter what it is. It could even be something as easy as putting boundaries, down with my clients and saying, hey, no, this is what I do. We got to stick to the contract, or they need a revision on something with their website. And then, I had to try and figure it out. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. Everything builds on each other. And then, it's okay to fail. I want people to understand that that's totally cool to fail because that's just stepping stones to get you more growth, to get you to that goal, to get you to that success that you want to be at,
Yeah, no, I love it. I love how I want to touch on, you said it's okay to fail. That is should be the mantra of entrepreneurs. Yeah. Because without the failure, you'll never grow. Like if you have just success after success after success, when you do get that first failure, you're going to be devastated.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to be able to learn to embrace the failure in order to keep going. So otherwise you're going to quit, so you have to do it.
Now, you brought up failure and the ability to handle failure and, embrace it. Have you had a failure that you feel really spurred you to do better?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. In fact, I had a previous client who I didn't set the boundaries well enough with and, the contract and everything with. So I ended up having to look at that as this person was just stepping over too many boundaries, breaching the contract, doing all that stuff. And I just had to learn to put my foot down. You can do that in a very kind and caring way without being rude and everything. But it's just one of those things as an entrepreneur, you want to help everybody, okay? Mm-hmm. And we all know that feeling when we feel like we're letting down somebody because we're not doing every little thing that they're asking, even though they're stepping way over the line. So that's been a huge learning curve for me, of saying, no, this is what we're doing. We're going to stick to this. This is in the contract, and I can't help you anymore with that. So
I love it. No, I love how it's also teaching you how to be assertive and stand your ground. I know the first guest we have here on the, not the first guest, but the season premiere was with the assertiveness master, Carl. And he talked about how to be more assertive. And I'm glad you're learning that as well and getting that, because being assertive and having those boundaries are so important, because once you have them in business, you can bring them into your personal life and have them. So, and help there. Now we're coming up to the end. I'm going to jump off the screen for a bit. So you're going to be okay. I know you're an introvert and you may not like the spotlight on you, but it's only for a short bit. Okay. Please let my audience know where they can find you, how they can connect with you if they want to hire Nerdy Girl to create their web design. So I'm just going to jump off here. It's fully yours, and take as much or as little time as you want, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you guys, my website is Nerdy Girl Web Developer, and you can find me at www.nerdygirlwebdeveloper.com. My email is nerdygirl@nerdygirlwebdeveloper.com. Or you could just simply call me. My number is 214-997-1997. So those are pretty easy to remember. And I'm here waiting, and I would love to help you out because I love doing this. This is my absolute passion.
There we go. You got 3 different ways of contacting. I know on your website you give a free audit. Isn't that correct? scroll down here. You get a website audit checklist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you offer that for free, just for the email address. And I'm not going to lie, the cost of an email address for the audit checklist from someone who's done it professionally is probably worth it. Probably you're getting it on the cheap, but it's not cheap at all. It's probably very valuable. I'm going to be putting my email in there shortly because more knowledge is important. Patti, I want to thank you so much for being a guest and sharing your love of website development with my audience and allowing me to interview you. So I want to thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being able to chat with you.
The pleasure was all mine because I get to learn and I get to talk to. I have content. I have to thank you immensely because without you being on the show, I wouldn't have content and then I wouldn't have a podcast. So thank you for that. I want to let my audience know if you are interested in contacting Patti, of course, you could have written down all that information. But if you happen to forget, then links will be in the show notes down below with how to get in contact with her. Again, thank you to Patti and the Nerdy Girl web development team for having yourself present on my show. And my audience, just remember, invest in yourself so that you can take your life to the next level.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.